Well, I wondered if I won I wondered, I wondered if I streamed
Well, I
there, if it
wondered
would
if
go to Facebook.
I won
'Cause I got
I
mine
wondered,
connected that way. You
I
know, like,
wondered
if I post a
if I
picture, it'll go
streamed
to
there,
Facebook
if it would go to
too.
Facebook.
So I wondered if it would do that. 'Cause I got
I
mine
wondered,
connected that way. You
I
know, like,
wondered
if I post a
if I
picture, it'll go
streamed
to
there,
Facebook too.
Facebook.
So I wondered if it would do that.
I
Like, if
wondered,
I post a
Okay. See if I'm live on Instagram. If I can even tell. Yeah, because that actually stinks. I don't use the Discord. I don't use the Discord app. I guess I've never even tried it.
I do.
Well, I mean, I do on my phone, but here I just do it in browser window.
Well, I think the problem is I
Yeah,
was
because
on
that actually
Fortnite
stinks. I
earlier,
don't use the
and
Discord. I don't.
for whatever reason, like, and I've had this happen on the laptop too. Um, it's like it remembers it's there, but it's not using it. And then for whatever reason, it just keeps that way. So it just remembers it the whole night. But I thought, like, with the laptop, because it does it with the laptop too. I thought with the laptop, if I reset it, like, or if I shut it down and then restart it, it would pick it back up, but
Oh,
it's not doing that.
well,
Because I know that night I texted you guys that it was working, that it was working. I had everything working and I had it all, everything was working as it was supposed to and everything. And then when I plugged it in before I had a problem with Discord, um it was it was at least the headphones were working. I don't know if the mic was working,
oh,
but
yeah, I forgot what we're doing.
but well, we're done harvesting, so
Oh, that's right. We're gonna plow some fields or something.
why don't I have follow me? For some reason we don't have for some reason easy developments isn't on.
Okay. Um. Yeah, I can't pre. That's kind of. I don't know. I can't tell if I'm live on Instagram. Well, I should be. It says I am, but um, I can't see the because the Instagram
Oh.
chat doesn't sync with Restream, which kind of makes sense the way. But also, I can't figure out how to crop it. Well, I mean, it's working. It's just nobody can see me because I'd have to move my.
Well,
Uh,
I'm in your stream now.
my Instagram stream.
Yep.
Okay,
I
so
pulled it up on my phone.
okay, so it is working. Okay, it says it
Yeah.
is, but it's kind of new deal. So
And I can share video. Oh, well, that just shares it to. Okay. Well, I got it. I can see it, so I guess.
yeah, no, I mean that's
Kind of somewhat can moderate, I guess.
well, no, I don't care about that so much. It's just I had to close the window because in watching watching Instagram on desktop or it um there's no volume so I can't mute it, so it's coming through the so I was getting feedback. And actually maybe that is would be a benefit of using the Discord app, is then not using the desktop. See, the desktop audio is what everybody's hearing you through my stream, which that works for everything else. I don't know if that would actually work for this Instagram case, because I would still hear it, but it'd be kind of weird. Oh, is this the shop or where the things spawn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know how much horsepower we have. 140 is
I was gonna
probably
say
what I've
yours
got.
looks a little smaller. Doesn't matter. We don't need that big equipment for this map.
No. No, but I needed to know what I needed to buy, so I didn't overbuy.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I figure I got more followers, sort of audience, I guess, on Instagram. So there's
Well, and that's what it's like. That's what it's like. Well, I probably would start doing Instagram if I knew it went to also my Facebook. Although I wouldn't have any way of
well, no, well, well. I guess I don't know if you got them connected. See, I don't. My Instagram is completely separate from my
Oh, so
because
how
I
I use mine is if I want it to go to both pages, I post it to Instagram, and if I just want it so that it's just private amongst friends and family, then I post it to Facebook.
yeah. Well, I could do that too, but see, I purposely set up my Instagram separate, and it's I guess, a professional account technically.
Hmm.
A bit, it's supposed to be a business one, but for some reason, I still don't have access to every single tool because like you can, unless I just can't figure it out, I should be able to link my Teespring through there for t-shirts and stuff I have on Teespring, which is also connected through YouTube. So, and if anybody's on YouTube, hop in the chat for me, um, so I know you're there. But yeah, I don't know. Instagram, I can tell. I mean, it does through Restream, and I'm doing it now. But you gotta go get a stream key every time, which just have to remember to do.
Yeah.
Which is the way, before Restream, with YouTube and stuff, you had to do it every time, and then they decided to create events and things that are. Is it gonna be this field here? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't realize these were so wide. Holy crap.
Unfold stone picker. Well, yeah, like what the heck is going on? Because it's like the way
They're
that
set to go a wider width than what the actual machine is.
uh,
Because I bought the ones that came with the map. I didn't realize that that's what they were.
Well, it's just the way the textures are loading in. I don't know where you're at.
I'm way ahead of you.
Well, no, I mean, where have you been?
Everywhere that's brown is where I've been. Everywhere that's white is where I
Oh,
haven't.
geez, because, yeah, it, like, you about did the whole field in one pass.
I know.
Okay. Well, I've never used these before, so I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah, they're a little bit unrealistic. I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, I noticed the texture. I thought it was just like, for whatever reason, the game glitching in or something on my end, or the way it was loading in. No, that's just the way. That's just the way these work. Okay. Yeah. So. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna cover that whole thing just with one pass. Yeah, that's that's not very realistic
No,
for
and I
this
figured
game.
with two of us.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't expect perfection, but it didn't make any sense. That's why I was like,
Yeah.
"What's happening?" Because I saw you start in the field. It's like, "What's happening?"
Okay, this one needs plowed. So I'm gonna leave this here now. I'll park it over here.
Spawn
How
in
big
some.
is that field? That's just a little field. Okay. What's over here? Basically, we're just going through each field individually.
Yeah. Hang on, I gotta alt it out here.
Okay, this field's ready to cultivate it. So let's do this. We have a plow.
Hold on.
We do have a plow, but it's not a plow that I like. We have a cultivator. We do have a cultivator, 375.
I figure I'd give this Instagram a whirl and maybe do it a few times, or see what analytics I can see if it gets views after the fact, or what.
Yeah.
I don't know. See if actually it's more see if wait a minute. See if I can push people to it, I guess. Like, been a long time since I've had a second monitor.
Yeah.
Getting it.
Well, I wonder if this means that I can't play, like, if I'm gonna stream that day, I can't play Fortnite on the new one.
No, it's a
Well,
it's a
it
setting thing or whatever. I don't know.
yeah, well, but I I I don't know
So
if
do
you
you think it's
quite
something
understand what I'm saying.
through the Discord app, or is it the game itself?
No, it has nothing to do with that. What it has to do with is because I was on it playing something else, and then I went and plugged in, and then the Discord app didn't work. It remembers that it's there, so then when you go to unplug it and then replug it in, it doesn't exactly bring up everything, and then it kind of closes you out of it, sort of. It's
Well,
kind of like I said, it's hard to explain. It's like
what is it?
the mic software, because that's what's doing it. is, you know, that box I showed you where when I plug it
Yeah,
in, it asks me if that's what I'm plugging in.
yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what it looks like in Windows 11, but it's
I
like,
sent you guys a picture. It's that thing that I have
yeah,
to
but I have
okay
no
every time I plug stuff in.
context. Is that in the whatever is the new
No,
control
it
panel?
when I plug it in, it shows up.
Yeah, but you can go into whatever is the control panel now in Windows 11. See, I just don't even know, um, and manually change that stuff.
Well, I don't know how. Okay, so there's a cultivator for you.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Well,
grab
because
him.
I assume when I was remote in there, okay, where do I need to go to get the cultivator?
Just flip through. I took it to the
Oh,
field.
you have it hooked up to another tractor.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, cool. I
I
got
think
it.
I can use this tractor.
I don't know.
That's what I was saying.
That almost
That's
seems
what
like
I
a
was saying.
driver
I
issue.
need. That was what I was saying the other day. I need someone to be here, not on the phone, not connected, to kind of see what I'm dealing with, and if there's something I'm doing wrong, they need to tell me,
Well, I don't know.
or I'm just gonna have to keep doing what I was doing with the laptop, which means that I won't be playing Fortnite before I stream.
Yeah, I don't know. I almost see the root of the problem is is the headphone being a combo unit, not having it not being.
I know it is, and I've asked you
But
guys if I
that,
should just buy something new, and you guys keep no, you that should work,
well,
and
it
but
should, but it might. Here's the
it's
thing: the driver.
frustrating the
Well, the
but the thing is,
drivers with
it's
it.
frustrating the hell out of me, and then Swanee is frustrating the hell out of me because he's acting like I don't know anything,
Well,
and I was like
yeah.
everything he suggests. I was like, dude, I've already tried that. Just that's not
Well,
it.
it should, but I'm more leaning towards maybe a different set, a headphone set that has the separated, because
Well,
maybe
that's what I
it's the
asked you
low
guys,
quality
but
splitter.
I've asked you guys that several times, and you guys keep
Well,
telling me no, don't do that.
I didn't say no. I just figured you didn't want to buy another $40 or whatever set
I
headset.
don't, but I want the thing
And I
to
don't
work.
want you either if the thing can work, but I'm not
I
there.
want I'm to the point I want the damn thing to work so I can
Well, I
stream.
guess that would be your next thing to try. And then if that screws up is not working, then you know it's definitely like a driver issue. And
I don't
but I don't think it
I don't
is. I
think
don't
it
really think it
is.
is, because I did update that when I was in there. Update that. You had a Windows update, but there was a driver deal, but it said something like for the but um and I don't know, it could be low quality splitter, and like there's some cross talk, like the shielding and the wires. I don't know if that would make a difference. Like, kind of.
No, I think it's the same problem that I had with the
but
laptop,
but seeing since
and
you're saying it's the same deal with the laptop, it leads me to believe it's the headphones, and it might be like the shielding and the cable in the headphones, and you've had those
it
a
isn't
while.
it isn't that though. It's software that runs it.
Yeah. Well, probably those combo jacks, because again, you know, my laptop, I use earbuds, which is a combo deal jack. They have their issues, but usually going into a setting, like if Teams can't see my microphone and I'm trying to do a Teams, I have the most problem with Zoom, honestly, and that, because I don't know, it's Zoom, and well, and I'm just using it on the web, and the Windows, and the Windows audio drivers must not play well together or something. I don't know, because I haven't experienced exact like the severity you're having, but I've had that happen with my work laptops. But usually, going into the control panel and manually choosing it will rectify the issue. But
Yeah, but like I said, someone has to be here to show me that because
well,
I do not know.
I don't either because I don't use Windows 11. I mean, I'll eventually have to, but I'm gonna hold out as long as I can because I don't even like how they took away some of the granular control in 10, and it's there somewhere. It's just you to look. So it'd be a lot of fiddling around. But I I I think some of it must just be a maybe you have to go to the Realtek website and look up the driver rather than just using Windows Update. I was
I don't
I
think
was
it's the
reading something
driver
on
though.
that, and that's a little because you saw how I went into the device manager and update driver. Well, um, you could manually install the driver. It's just you have to go out and find it. So that'd be probably the next step to try, and we could probably mess with that if I make it over there. So,
I don't think that's what it is though. I
well,
don't
the
think it's a
driver is the
driver issue.
software that
It's just
controls
it's
that
just a
box.
communication. It's some kind of a communication issue that um when it's plugged in, if like the laptop I learned you don't start it up until you're ready to use it. Like the mornings that I stream or whatever. You don't just start it up and start playing until you use it. You have um and then you hit the mic. Otherwise, I have problems and I have to reset it. But for some reason, the thing's not resetting tonight,
Yeah,
even though I've tried it several times. I don't know. I'm so frustrated because it's like it's been a month now that I've had this thing or pretty close to it, and I'm still not using it to stream.
yeah,
And that was the whole point of buying it.
yeah. Well, the wiggle tractors are heavier. I gotta get used to them again. Um, yeah, it's funny because well, I don't know. I've never really, I've only had that problem on the laptop, um, occasionally. Never had it, um, and those use, combo jacks, but probably just Windows being Windows, thinking it knows what you're doing when it doesn't. I don't know. Explain to me what, and I guess I can see it for myself. That Xbox Game Bar, what does that do? Because I don't even know what that is when Swanee's
I
talking
don't
about.
I don't really use it other than what he told me to do
Because
with the voice chat.
and, because that Xbox, I guess, in that was that in Windows 8? It might have been in Windows 8 too. Um, because I just that's one of the first things I do is just uninstall any of that Xbox crap because it's just bloat on my system, so I don't even know what it is. I mean, I suppose it's like supposed to make it so it's easy to like port your games, but like the settings or something maybe like so you have saved stuff, and you want to play on your actual Xbox, your console, then you come over to the PC version of that game, it remembers your progress. I don't know. I mean,
No,
I'm
it's
guessing.
or at least it may be like that, but the stuff that he has me pulling up, it's like I can do
I almost
pictures and it's got settings and
see. Were you messing with any of that on the laptop? Because I almost
no,
okay.
I never did. The only reason I started messing with it now is because he's like, well, there you can go in there and adjust your you can adjust your mic there. And I go in there and I kept showing him that you can't. And he kept saying, well, no, you can adjust it in there. No, you can't.
See, and see, I wonder if that's causing some sort of extra conflict or something. I don't know, because it seems
The only
it seems
place I can
redundant because you had to download the game, right? So
yeah.
it exists. It's not like, well, see, and I don't even totally understand how Steam and like a Steam cache works, other than that's
But I didn't get Farm Sim on Steam.
no, but I mean, I think the game bar is trying to be like Steam Cache or something, and it's just probably a
Well, I think
shittier
it's
version or
like yeah,
something.
I think well, I
I
think
don't
it has
know.
that capability.
I
Like I think it has the capability of cloud storing, but
that's exactly. So I don't know. To me, it seems like it'd be something that could potentially cause some conflict. I don't necessarily think it's doing your mic deal, because you're saying the the laptop kind of had sort of this problem too. So that doesn't
yeah. No,
really.
it's the I know what it I'm pretty sure I know what it is. It's a software, but I other than what I other than other than um only like if I'm going to stream tonight, you know, then I don't get on the computer to do Fortnite, you know, I have to do that on Xbox and only when I'm ready to get on there and hopefully everything's running smooth. Discord, and that's the other thing is Discord doesn't always I've had that problem too on the laptop where it's like it tries to load up at the very beginning and sometimes there's not enough internet for it to. So
Oh
then that's what happened tonight is like it was trying to load up and then I was trying to get on Fortnite
well, one
um
thing I do there.
and then else and their dog was trying to watch the Nebraska women's volleyball game and so there wasn't enough internet to go around and so everything kind of got because I was having problems connecting to Fortnite tonight.
Do you have Discord to set to start to load on startup?
Unfortunately, I think so.
Okay, well, that'd be an easy setting to change there, and then that part wouldn't happen for you, and that will help just the loading
Yeah, because
time on.
that probably would have
Okay, hold
if
on.
that
I'm
hadn't
done. Where
happened.
am I going next? What field do I need to
Well,
go next?
I'm almost done. I'll look here in
Okay.
a second. I'm just in the field next to you, so
Oh, 4. Yeah, I see. Okay, but anyway, go ahead. I was
um if it wouldn't have started up tonight, I probably wouldn't have had any problems. Because that's where the problem started, or at least that's where it seemed like it started. Okay, I think because I wanted the fields that we harvested or I harvested, I wanted to leave, but I don't think I harvested this one. So you can cultivate this one.
okay.
I'm trying to keep some randomness into the game, even though we don't necessarily have to, but
Yeah,
so
just do
that
something
means that
different.
anything that we harvested, because we're still on the same day as we harvested, I don't want to I don't I don't want them to be cultivated or anything, you know?
Yeah.
Cuz then that way when we go back, if we keep playing this map or whatever,
It is a
then we
nice
can
change, like just the terrain. Yes.
yeah.
Well, like
Well,
Tucker. Well,
I
like
love this
Tucker,
map. I
I just chose Iowa, and it's kind of been fun just because I turn traffic on and it's something different.
Yeah. Well, that's what I've always had a problem with is I get burned out of maps because you start on a new map and it's like, oh, this is different, and then I kind of play it for a few weeks and then I'm just kind of like, okay, find something else.
Yeah.
That's another frustrating thing is I've been trained to stream this map. There's a map I've been trained to stream for the next month, and that's I've been getting kind of held back on my content on
Yeah.
what I want to do. And I don't want to bring it over to the laptop because I kind of wanted to keep the game save and stuff once I start it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay, I can bring one of the It doesn't help. It doesn't help last night that I was up till 12:30, so
You know what? I just had a thought. Maybe I don't know if I'll remember to do this. Is bring my shotgun. Then you just plug in. I mean, let's go old school. Plug in some earbuds that are just earbuds or something, and then a separate, honest to God, separate microphone, and let's
oh,
see what happens. So not a
I can
device.
do that. I have just regular headphones that I
Yeah.
can plug in.
Or yeah, but you know what I'm saying. So you eliminate
Yes,
the whole
yeah,
splitter deal because like that shouldn't be the problem. I mean, it really should. I mean, yeah, it's cheap, and yeah, there could be crosstalk or something's like the shielding or something is effing with the signal that the software then picks up, like saying you have something other than what you do plugged in. I don't know. I'm grasping at straws at this, but I mean it could be possible. Like, I guess the only other thing to do is like separate it out, and
yeah,
that's what looking for a pair of headphones where it's a separate mic jack and a separate headphone jack. Because if you think in those like, oh, we're lagging. I was like, okay, um, because it's possible you've had them headphones a while. I don't know, maybe the insulation inside the insulation's breaking down and it's creating, I don't know, some kind of an interference that's interpreted as like you got a headphone in there because it's all just separated. That's what those little rings on the end of the terminal mean. Just headphones have two, and then headphone and mic have three little rings, and that's to separate the stereo audio and the headphone part, input and output. See, on my old PC, because I kept unplugging and plugging things in, I wore out USB jack, USB ports, and the headphone and mic ports on my older quote gaming or editing rig because I would be switching things out because like, oh, okay, I want to use my headphones, like, okay, I want this run back in, then I want it run back into my like home theater, because we were watching YouTube, would watch YouTube on it. This before smart TVs, of course. and so I wore the jacks out, and then again, they didn't really do what you're explaining, but they were just flaky. Like sometimes they'd just give no in output, like the headphone, or it'd be scratch. I mean, you're not having that problem, but otherwise it'd be like scratchy or something. And then it just then they just quit working. And I know it was because the actual like physical part was broken inside or just worn out, so it wasn't making connection, like a good enough connection to realize, oh, you plug something in, or there's something plugged in here. Of course, again, that was with Windows 7 and then 8, so much kind of different environment. Yeah, I don't know. I guess technically, I lied. Our new new laptop I got Katie to replace the failing one, which is not failed, does have Windows 11. I just haven't used it, but I'm not wild about the interface. I'm sure there's some good things about it, but I'm not
See,
wild about
I don't.
10 either. But
Everybody keeps saying that, but I don't. I guess I don't see a problem with it, And you're gonna have to, anyways, at some
oh
point in
yeah,
time.
I'm eventually gonna have to get used to it. It's just, again, like when I remoted in, I was like, shit, where is everything? That's why I was kind of searching for things and what it gave me. And like Windows 10 is that way too. Like half the control panels in over here in this menu, but then when you need to get to those advanced settings, like graphical settings, it's like you have to know to click this show more and all this stuff to then get in. Oh, I want to change the refresh rate, because that's the thing. I plugged in this new monitor that I have, and it's a 144 hertz monitor. But if you just plug it in, it just defaults to 60 hertz. And you got to go manually change that stuff. Now, of course I have NVIDIA graphics card, so you can do it through there too. But you got to double click on the tray icon for that. But you can also do it in the Windows settings as well. But since I hadn't messed with the display settings and same with moving the monitors, I had to literally kind of search for it, because I'm like, wait a minute, where is the refresh rate setting? And I found it pretty quickly. But in the old days, when you went to display, everything about the display was there. Resolution, just the colors and all that stuff you want to and stuff. But anyway, and that's why Windows 11 I was definitely lost. I was like, is this where? Fortunately, device manager is the same as it's always been. And that's why I tried disabling and then enabling it, because sometimes doing that, kind of restarting the process, kind of gets the hitch out. I don't know. But like with Discord, and I'm not saying that's a problem either, but I've only ever used the web version. Honestly, I didn't, for a longest time, I didn't know that there was a downloadable version, and there's probably maybe some other features that might be nice.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what the online one version does. I just know
well, you
that I
just
had
go
to
to
download
Discord
it.
and log in, and
I guess the reason maybe why I just downloaded it and stuff is because originally I had it on my phone, and I ran it as an app off my phone.
yeah.
And got used to how that works, and was like, well, when I switched over, I was just like, well, it's got to be the same. It can't be. It can't be
Well, I'm just
different,
using it
really.
in a browser, and it just feels like I don't want to say old school chat room, but kind of like with the different servers. They're along the side. It's probably very similar. And then like, your friends, or like how I'm talking to you is in a chat box deal. And then I just hit call, and then like the little messages, we don't really use it for that, but I do with other people, other online acquaintances. We do it all the time. I'm active in some other non motorcycle, non gamer, more maker type servers, and a YouTube creator one, which I actually, I'm not real active in there. I just read mostly, but it feels like an old school chat room kind of, which I kind of like. Okay. But you got a lot of the same tools, I think. But I do know, like with you being on the desktop, like if I look at your user, it'll say playing Farming Simulator.
Yep.
Which mine won't say that, because
which what's kind of funny is
or
is
listening
like,
to.
I'm connected. I'm connected to. I'm connected to a trucker and Casual and
Yep.
MJ Woody and Average and everybody. And I've that's where I talked, like, especially Trucker. That's where I talk to them,
Right.
and so I can see when they're I can see when they're on and what they're playing. And it's like that's a little bit too much information for
Well,
me.
but
It's like
that's how ICQ was. That's how MSN Messenger, AIM was that way too. Like if you had it set up, like if you were using, well, like I remember back in the day, and I don't know if me and you ever talked through Messenger, MSN
we
Messenger,
did a little bit, but
but
not
for example,
that
like
often.
I always listened to my music, that I downloaded and ripped. Uh, in Winamp. Well, you could connect Winamp, so if I was listening to music while I was quote online, even if I wasn't chatting, it would show I was online, and then it would show listening to whatever, and it would be the song title, and it would change as like if I had a playlist going. Of course, Winamp had streaming channels, kind of. I mean, that's the thing. It was actually quite revolutionary in a way, because it had almost like how it wasn't radio stations necessarily, like iHeart, but it was like iHeart or other apps like that. Um, but they were kind of just independent, underground, kind of, I call it radio stations, maybe with or without some sort of DJ. A lot of them without, and it was just someone like. And I even did it for a while, um, in the early days. Is you'd have to leave your computer on, but I'd have Winamp playing my playlist, and I created a stream, and you could literally listen to my playlist. And I actually had like a bunch of like Simpsons episodes and King of the Hill and a bunch of other stuff I had ripped from DVDs, or most of it I downloaded, like a peer-to-peer file sharing, and I had it in a big library, and I could watch. So that's why sometimes when I was at work, I had to leave my computer on at home, but I could I'd watch like episodes of The Simpsons or something over my lunch, essentially using my computer as like a server and watching it through Winamp on my work computer. I through
Mhm.
like Winamp's. I mean, it was through Winamp's web server, but you had to know how to log in. It was a little cryptic, but it was kind of, you know, I had my own streaming server that I could access anywhere in the world, literally, literally for a while
Yeah.
there. But again, it take bandwidth, and on an old school hard drive, it's having to read from that hard drive, so it's just wearing your hard drive out faster doing that. But of course, I was file sharing and all that, so the hard drive was always. I had a separate hard drive for this, so nobody could. I mean, there was controls to keep it directory, but I was like, I didn't trust any of that. Like, I didn't completely understand how it made it work, so I just had it directed to a separate drive that wasn't the OS, didn't have, you know, access to any of my pictures or other files. It was purely just for the peer to peer and Winamp. And so I just had, all my music and any videos, movies, whatever there. And I had them shared through the peer to peer, but then also on Winamp. So, um, with, if you knew how to search it, if somebody was searching for Simpsons episode, whatever, they might hook up to my PC, and they could either stream it or they could download it, depending on what they were trying to do. Because again, back in the peer to peer, like Napster, but after Napster, it was like, well, people won't let you take from them if you're not giving. So it's like you need to give more than you take, kind of thing. um, that was kind of like peer to peer sharing etiquette.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, yeah, that was like not like not technically like legal, I guess, but it was a way you could do it. But then Winamp like shut down, and I kind of quit using it about 2010 or something, a long time ago. But anyway, MSN Messenger, like I said, this Discord feels a lot like a grown-up version of that. And then, the voice
It's
chat, of
more
course,
like
you
a
can voice chat, I don't know, up to how many people, but it's handy. I
I
know,
guess I honestly don't know. We the most I've ever seen, well, the most I've used is like 4, but that doesn't mean that we're at the limit.
I mean, I think you can do like 25 people or something like that.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I know you can do
Well,
some
and
like screen
the way
share
that
stuff too, which
the
that's how
way
you
that
could do a watch
casual
party deal, but I haven't figured that out. And that might be where if you use the download or desktop, the screen share probably you probably have more options. So you couple like if we wanted to react live or something, watching together, could maybe. But that'd be something we'd have to experiment. Kind of like if we were gonna like watch the old YouTube, from the way back scene kind of deal, and we wanted to have kind of more of a reaction, like both of us react, live to it. That's probably how you do that. Then it'd be in real time.
Sorry, Swanee's messaging me
Oh,
trying
is
to
it?
figure out what's
Well,
going
yeah,
on.
my
So
phone's going, and I don't know if that was him or I have other group chats.
him and I are. That's why I've
Okay,
kind
so
of been kind of quiet and letting you kind of have control of the stream because I'm
yeah.
like,
Well, that's
I'm
all
talking
right.
to him.
Got a couple people watching on YouTube. They need to say hello. Need to do a super thanks too.
Well, I know it's not me.
I don't know. Well, here I'll have to stop and watch or read. Let's see.
He's trying to make suggestions. I keep telling him that you're gonna be here next week and you have some ideas, and he's just like keeps. I know he's trying to be helpful, but he's like. It's like I'm just frustrated, and that's a lot of what's going on. But I'm like, well,
Yeah.
you're coming next week. It's already been a
Well, I
month.
can't guarantee
It'll
you I'm
last
going to
to
get you any
another.
farther than where you're at, because I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
Because what I did doing remote, I don't want to say it should have fixed it, but it should have, I don't know, made it better. But then again, it's a little different than physically being there too. But yeah, it might be, and that's what we'll do. We'll try separating the head. That's what we'll do. We'll try separating the headphone and mic with a separate mic.
Well, and I'll go in and I'll go in and I'll make Discord. I'll try to see if I can figure out how to make Discord not start up. Because, like
Yeah,
I
it's
said,
probably in some.
I think
Well,
it would have been fine had I not had that problem. Because the headphones before that were working fine. I could hear the game and everything, but
yeah, I'm.
and then the second I had that problem, I had to restart the computer.
Well,
That's when
I guess
things
that's the thing. We
started
got to
go.
just start eliminating things that use audio, or and then see if that helps narrow it down. I mean, that's all I can think to try. And then like the physical hardware, like I said, maybe the splitter's garbage. Don't think so.
I don't think it is. Like I said, I think I had
But
it working the other night because otherwise I would have never
I
tried it if I hadn't.
I almost want to get one and have a, well, I'd have to use earbuds with them. I almost want to get one and see what my PC would do out of curiosity. I don't know. It's real weird because usually if you just go into the audio settings, you choose okay, I want, because see the outputs there, you can choose different things. Realtek line out or speakers or whatever, and that won't work. That doesn't always work because it's wanting to see something different, and then you choose Realtek like speakers, even though you're using headphones. See, the whole thing, what that pop-up's trying to ask you is it wants to, what Windows thinks it's doing for you is like for example, how I'm listening to you. I'm not using my headphones. Obviously, you're watching my streams. I don't have headphones. I could, but I have literally a patch cable. I built this desk, and I have a audio jack, an extension cable coming out of the the line out on the back, or yeah, it's the line out, but speakers out. It's where you'd plug your headphones in the back rather than the front. And then I made a port so it's plugged into the side of the desk. And anyway, I have a pair of just cheap Amazon's basic speakers plugged. They're powered, by the way, too, and they're plugged into that. And if I unplug them and then plug them back in, Windows pops that up saying, what did you plug in? And I could choose speakers or I could choose headphones. Either one is going to work. But what Windows is trying to do is, like, if you plugged in headphones, it's like, oh, I'm going to tune the frequency response because you said headphones. Or I'm going to tune the frequency. I can't tell a difference, but probably some audiophile can. And that's where it's getting hung up somehow, is it doesn't like that you plugged in two things into one, or like, because they're combo, it's like it's one thing plugged into two things, and it's freaking out. That's what Windows isn't understanding. But see, usually you just go into this. I mean, that's kind of why Swanee was getting kind of frustrated, because usually you just go where you were and you just choose things and it just works. But
Yeah.
Windows is, but see, Windows is like
he was
overriding something in there. And
he was getting frustrated because he was trying to tell me, what to do. But it's like, dude, I tried that. It's not working. And it's like, but that's how it works. Well, no,
and see, that's why I'm wondering if there's a driver conflict with something. Is the audio device, the Realtek, which is the hardware, and then it's a little driver is like the software, is telling Windows, hey, this is what you do. But then Windows is generally programmed, because it's the same protocol, whether it's on any laptop, built to say, oh, okay, audio device, here's how Windows wants to handle this. And the audio device is saying, no, do this. And then Windows saying, no, do that. I think it does come down to that. So we might be doing a little searching on Realtek's website for something. And that's the thing, is like, there's probably the answer we need on Reddit. We just have to go looking. But you got to know what to search for. Too.
And like I said, I've been for the last few weeks ready to just have you guys say, okay, well then, if you got two ports, why don't you just buy a new mic and a
I mean, you can do that on your own. But
and you guys are kind of like, no, this should work. You should. Well,
let's exhaust all. Let's exhaust. It's kind of like the don't throw parts at. Like when you're fixing a car, don't throw parts at it. Like, try the common stuff first. Well, the common stuff isn't working, so yeah, it's probably about time. But we're gonna find out, because if I remember to bring a microphone along, then it'll like having a separate headphones that have separate jacks. And see, that's what I thought you were using all along. So I didn't even I didn't even factor that in at the initially. Kept saying you had problems. I'm like, well, make sure it's plugged in. But then I didn't,
Well, that's it.
because
See, and
honestly,
I knew that was a problem
I
because
didn't think
because
that
you guys
gaming
kept saying just
headphones
plug it
were
in. I'm
like
like, I
that.
can't because it's one jack and I've got two on this thing,
Yeah.
and that was the
Well,
very first frustrating thing is because like it's like you guys kept telling me to do this, and it's like
but
I
we
can't
can't see what
do
you
that.
have. See, I didn't even know
I know, but
the
I was
head.
sending pictures, and you guys were still arguing with me.
Well, you didn't send pictures of your
Y-
headphones. Like, I don't know what
Yes,
headphones you were
yes, I
using.
did.
Now I
Yes, I
couldn't
did.
see. Well, I couldn't
I
see
sent
them.
I sent the jack and I sent the jacks first and then the headphones second.
Well,
Right back to back so you could see both
well,
what I was dealing with.
I guess I must have missed that, or because your pictures were hard to see, somewhat dark, um, but like I didn't even know.
But I can't do anything about that. It's not like
Yeah, but
I don't have the lighting in
I
here
didn't
to
know they made, because they're like earbuds is what they are with the built-in microphone. See, and I didn't even think they made gaming headphones like that. I thought pretty much if it had an external boom mic, they had two plugs on, or two plugs on the end,
well
because that's all I've ever seen. But again, I don't use
yeah,
gaming
but see
a gaming headset.
this is where like this setup that I have my mic on now would be more for like a console because there's only one jack in the controller
Right.
that you plug into, and what you're thinking of is more for a computer.
Yeah.
Now that could have been another thing that I could do, but I don't. The one that has the jack on it, I I don't want to switch over because that one's connected to my Xbox, and
Yeah.
that was another disagreement that the Swanee and I were having because he's like, well, just connect your Xbox controller, and I'm like, the one that you're wanting me to connect, I do not want to connect. I will deal with it this other way. You know, it's like I know I know what you're trying to say. You're not listening to what I'm trying to say.
Well, well, see, and I didn't. Well, I wasn't following that because I was like, how are you going to connect an Xbox controller? Because I assume Xbox controller have either a proprietary, if they're wired, a proprietary connector. They're not just a USB, or you have wireless ones. And like, how's that going to work?
Well,
Or are they USB? See, that's what I
apparently
don't know.
the newer ones have Bluetooth or Bluetooth enabled.
Oh, so he was wanting you to do Bluetooth. Okay, well, I
Yeah,
wouldn't even see, and
and
I
it,
wouldn't
and
even
it,
thought of that. I guess that they could
and
do
so the
that.
controller the extra controller that I have apparently isn't Bluetooth enabled. I think it must be an older Xbox One controller, and he wants me to he wanted me to switch them, which I could, but um for there's reasons I don't want to, and there's reasons I don't want to, and it's like I have them set up. I have which one I want with the one that I want. So we're just gonna have to make this work, and that's where he was. That was another like he was. We'll just connect it. That's like this one won't connect.
Well,
That's where
I don't like
and that's
Bluetooth stuff anyway, because then you got to remember, like a remote control. I love this being wired because then I don't have to worry about it being charged and stuff. But that's just me.
and that's part of the problem is he's trying to troubleshoot things through text, and but he doesn't necessarily see the whole picture, and so he's just trying to tell me what to do, and he's like, it's like if you'd either listen to me on what I'm telling you, or it's like either I've already tried that, or I know what I'm doing and it's not what you're wanting me to do. If you just let me do what I want to do, we wouldn't disagree on this so much.
Yeah. I don't know. What's got puzzled me about the whole thing is the apparent either driver or software conflict. Well, like I
Yeah.
said, I've experienced elements of what is happening. I've never experienced exactly what's happening, and so it's some sort of conflict which might resolve itself with a next Windows update. Because I mean, that's I guess that's why I could update mine here. That's why I've been pushing it off, because while it's better now than it was when they released it, but it's like there's it's still too new that they haven't got all the bugs worked out with all the hardware that it could interact with. That simply could be what's going on. There's actual bugs in Windows 11 that happen to affect your version of hardware you have on this motherboard, the audio stuff. Because again, they try to make everything work with compatible everything from OEMs like Dell and HP to like the high end stuff like your MSI or Gigabyte or whatever motherboards, and like server type enterprise stuff. It's all built off the same stuff. I mean, that's really why I didn't jump at the chance of upgrading free, obviously, Windows 11, because it's like my hardware's a little older. Is it gonna be? Am I gonna run into some minor troubles because they can't program for every single, and then I gotta wait for Nvidia or I got an MSI or yeah, I'm an MSI motherboard, uh, to come out with a BIOS update to work better,
Yeah.
operate. Like, you know what? Windows 10 is fine. They're supporting it for when they're going to quit, but they're still going to support it. By the time it's going to fall out of support, things like actual like I'm going to start having hard. It's going to be time to build something new, get something built new, and that's when I'll move. Okay, I'm done with 6. Can I go over to 8 maybe?
No.
Or no, that looks like
8 was harvested. Let me look. If you come down the road to 10, 10 needs to be
okay.
cultivated.
Well, there then. Now, that's one thing I like about this map. Again, unlike No Man's Land, the roads and like New England states, you actually kind of have to realistically drive it. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Because of all the
Yeah.
obstacles.
Mm-hmm. I did get my I and I haven't had a chance this week to hook them up yet, but I did get my HDMI, or not my HDMI, my cables for my internet.
Oh yeah.
So
I
because I
wonder if
think,
you'll notice less uh, either better reliability.
well, yeah, yes, I will. Because the reason why I say that is because
Maybe even better speed.
earlier this year when we had to move out of our old offices in the transition to move into Kearney, I had my work computer here, and it was old enough, and I don't think it had an internet card. So I had it hooked up by the Ethernet, and it ran 20 times better than anything here. And I think that's I I don't know if you've heard my streams. I complain about the Xbox connection and stuff. I think the problem actually is that um the internet card in the Xbox, the Wi-Fi card,
Yeah.
I think is just getting kind of old and
Well, it's probably
outdated
an
and
old
ran
standard too, which is
yeah, it
slower.
and ran down. And I so I got the cables. I was gonna hook that up. The computer itself, the the card is strong enough that it's supporting it really well. The only time I've had a problem with it was tonight, and I'm pretty sure the reason was because when I was connected to Fortnite was the same time that the Nebraska volleyball team was playing, and everybody and their dog, like you talk about how the football program used to be around here.
Yeah.
Everybody's all about the volleyball team
Yeah.
now
Well,
because
like,
they actually win national championships, or they have, they've been relevant for
well,
the last
of
20 years.
course, I follow or friends with Nate Carey, and
Yeah.
he's a sports. And of course,
Yeah.
yeah, he's always posting about anything Nebraska. So if the baseball team happens to be doing good, he'll be posting that. But yeah, yeah, and that's pretty amazing. It's like I don't know that they've kind of consistently been good the last several years. I think it seems like I
For the
seem to see a
last
lot of
20
posting.
for at least the last 20, if not longer.
Well, that's what I mean. Is like it just seems like they're always good.
And now
Football's
they're
always up
talking
and
about
down, or whatever.
now they're talking about like so UNK has actually been consistently good at volleyball, and um some of the other smaller colleges, and so now they're talking about how the state is just all about how good they are at volleyball. I think they said that we had 8 different teams make playoffs this year. And that's not just Division 1, that's going through all the colleges. But yeah, that cuz tonight was semifinals, and I think it's Saturday is when the final is. So everybody was watching. Except for me. I wasn't watching, but um I might watch Saturday. Might give me a reason to watch Saturday.
Oh crap! I think my yeah. my summary. Oh. Hang on. I was like, wait a minute. I lost control. It's like, oh, I accidentally turned on the AI worker. I must have hit the right because I was trying to just lift the thing, and I was also
It's easy to do. I
well.
do it
But here's
without.
the thing: I have had the problem where my controller's glitched out, and and it just like the US, it's USB, but I've had it where like I need to unplug it and plug it back in for it to kind of reconnect.
Yeah.
Because this is still that whatever one you linked me to go now. Um,
Yeah.
Xbox style,
Yeah.
which has worked good. I
It
mean,
it's well, so that's another reason why um that's the reason why I wanted an Xbox controller for the PC is because I've gone through so many of these cheap controllers, and the Xbox, like the actual Xbox controller, I've actually um I had to go through one, and it was just because it accidentally fell and the it broke. But they're a little bit more sturdier
yeah.
and robust, and so they don't break as easily. So that's what it's like when I found out they could connect to the PC. I was like, maybe I should
Well, I
run
don't,
one.
obviously I don't run them as hard as you do because I don't put as many hours on it. No,
Yeah.
when it fails, I'll buy another whatever this was 15. I feel like it was like a $15 control.
It I think it was.
I'll probably buy something similar. That it works.
Yeah.
What'll happen is a button
Yep, that's what happens to me.
start failing, but I haven't noticed.
The one I'm currently using on the laptop, one of the trigger, I call them the trigger buttons because with the guns and stuff, that would be the trigger. It's also the throttle button in like
Yeah.
this game, but that has kind of let go. I can press on it and it'll work, but it doesn't have any spring back to it or resistance to it like it used to, but it still works. Actually, I was gonna buy a new remote for the laptop, or I had one in mind, and then went the whole PC route, so I didn't get it. But I
Well,
was like,
see,
I was gonna turn this one
well, see,
into a backup, and
we're not 100% PC gaming because you're supposed to use um AWSD is in mouse.
I know, I know.
But I've just
Actually,
I've
actually,
never been able to play any game real
actually,
successfully that way.
actually, if I could figure out the rest of the keys, um, I was because I have to kind of use the mouse to close Fortnite and stuff. So I was picking it up and messing around with it. I moving around think it would be easier. I could see why PC
Well, mousing
gamers
around,
are
yes, but
I could see why PC gamers are killing it on those kind of games cuz like the response to move around is
well,
in
yeah, I mean the whole
insane.
thing with is yeah, the call it the polling rate of the mouse on it is, I mean there's a limit to what you can actually do and it get register that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get it. It's just I never developed the muscle memory because I wasn't a gamer like that. I was always,
Yeah.
you know, Atari, a joystick type thing, or Nintendo with pads and buttons. Like back in the day in college, there, your PS1, PS2 kind of stuff. So
Mhm.
you know, my hands more naturally want to do that stuff. But yeah, I can, but but PC gaming has always been with keyboard, pretty much keyboard and mouse control. Keyboard first, and mouse controls, mice thing.
Yeah.
But I just never did the muscle memory, so it just seems so wrong. It seems like you'd get carpal tunnel.
Probably.
But I suppose you just build up those. But I just can't make my fingers do that because, again, I'd have to get an external CD drive, and I'm not even sure if it would play on Windows 10 natively. I'd probably have to box. But Grand Theft Auto Vice City on my it ran on, I would play it a little bit on my older PC, and it'd probably play on the garage PC. But like, well, I had to get sent me a remote. That was the only way I was able to play it. But I tried to play it with the keyboard and mouse, and I just couldn't. I couldn't hardly even drive the cars.
Well, but
let alone move around and shoot something.
That game probably has a lot more commands to it. I was like, that's the thing about Fortnite is I think you're somewhat limited on what buttons do what anyways, or what you generally need most of the time. And so I was thinking about it. It's like, man, if I really wanted to, I think I could figure this out pretty. Would I be able to win every match? No, but I think I could figure it out and be maybe as decently as good as I am on a remote if I just sat there and tried.
Yeah.
There's a few things I'd have to look up, and I may not remember everything right off the bat, but I think with some time, I think I could get practiced into it pretty easily. But yeah, I was noticing that. It's like, man, it's like this responds so much quicker than, because that's usually like I can get down to the last two, and then I usually don't win. Every once in a great while I do, but most of the time I don't win, and it's half the time it's because they jump over top of me and I can't turn around fast enough, and they start shooting
See,
me
with a
before I
mouse,
can
you'd
get
be able to
flipped.
whip your crosshairs or whatever, whip around.
Yeah,
mouse.
exactly. That's what I was like. I was like, man, I could easily do that. And then I was like, that problem, if I could just get familiar enough with it, that problem wouldn't be anymore.
Yeah, I guess that's just where I show my ignorance or old, even though it's been that way for as long as a lot of the consoles I played. But it just I look at like gamer, or testing games out on these and stuff, and they just with the keyboard thing, they're testing Call of Duty, to see frame rates or something.
Yeah.
Or whatever, and they just get into it, and I'm like, it just like, oh, is this actually how you play those? Is this how people look when they're playing those games? Like if you were sitting next to them, and it's like, yeah, but it just looks so foreign to me. But I never thought, it's like, well, yeah, how else would you play these? Because otherwise controllers aren't necessarily universal.
Yeah.
I think Xbox probably popularized the quote style most people play with.
Yeah.
Button layout and all. I mean, yeah.
Well, and also not only that, but they also probably are a big influence in remotes just because it's MSN. It's a computer company that's made a console.
Well, and that's always something they always kind of said from the get-go. It's like, well, see, and I think that was the whole deal. Like, as hardware got better, I think everybody was saying is like, oh, well, the experience on Xbox be, or you can, be analogous to PC. Well, it'll never be that way because you build a better PC. You can't ever better Xbox, not upgradable that. But the
No.
whole deal is, and I guess kind of goes full circle with the game bar. I thought that, not knowing what it is, I always thought, and just seeing those apps that were pre-installed uh, Windows, it's like, oh, I see. They want you to be able to make your game essentially, or your game settings essentially portable. So doing this on Xbox, and then you go to your PC, and you can kind of pick, in a way, you can kind of pick up where you left off. You can have
It kind of is that, but it's more to do with your profile, not to do with the actual games.
Well, and see, that's right. But see, I think when that all started happening, and with Microsoft being gaming, in the early days, I think that was the thought. It's like, oh, yay, console exclusives won't, PC players won't have to wait a year before they port it to console game to a Well, that didn't really quite happen the way I was thinking, but I thought, oh, that was kind of supposed to be having those Xbox apps. I would see that I would end up, uninstalling.
Where'd you end up?
I'm in 12 now. I'm just going. I did 11 because it was right next door. I don't know. This has a bunch of rocks in it, I see. I guess we could pick those.
Where is 12? Well, I was getting
Well,
to the
it's a
point
narrow
where
strip next. Oh. And when I finish this, I'm gonna call it.
you're up there. You're up. Okay, you're up there. You didn't go to 10.
No, I did.
That's okay.
No, I did 10.
No, because 10 is over by me. Oh, okay. I meant 19. I told you wrong. That was my bad.
Okay. Well, yeah, 19 was across the road.
Yeah. 19's across the road from me.
When I get this little one, it's kind of a narrow strip.
That's why I don't want. That's why I need to get on the PC, is because it's hard to read the numbers on the laptop, even with the reading glasses.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I guess if you're playing it on the. See, honestly, that's what you could have been doing all. I mean, it's a bigger investment, of course, but you could have got a dock and a nice dual monitors, or your TV and a good monitor, and you just close the Well, I guess you could technically have 3 screens, but you could have put the game up on one of the bigger screens and laptop dock, and you could have been running that way. But again, getting the dock adds another thing in line, and
Yeah.
but that is a thing you could do, or you
Yeah.
could, at least you could have been running 2, because you could have your TV plugged into the HDMI out and configure that as extend desktop, so you could have Streamlabs over there, or that thing, or vice versa. I probably do it. Play the game on the TV and have the. Yeah, when I get this field done, which is call it good.
Yeah, like I said, I was up till 12:30 last night, and I've been running on a little sleep today.
I needed a little bit of decompress. Today was a down, and it ended on a down. Change is happening.
Yeah. Everybody at my work is pretty excited because tomorrow's our Christmas party, and I guess it's a pretty wild time from what I understand. Well, I think from what I understand, like the shop guys, because I guess all the liquor is free. Like, I mean, it's the 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 owners pay it the
Yeah.
tab. So all the liquor is free. So the shop guys just end up acting like animals, and I think they would agree to that term. And I've heard the liquor bill is anywhere from 2,500 to 3,000 a year, and every year. And then they I guess they do prime rib and stuff, and um anyways,
Where's it
everybody's
at?
just
Where's it at? Or
gonna be at the Big Apple,
oh, okay.
and I guess everybody's super excited about it, and I think that this week has been kind of everybody's happy.
Okay, so well, I mean, I don't know. Have they ever renovated the place? Is it in the pool hall area then? Is
Yeah,
that
yes,
okay?
they closed down that bar for the night.
Okay.
Like the only people that can be in there are employees. Us employees.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about a Christmas party. And honestly, I could take it late. I'm not a I'm not a
You
drinker
know,
at those things. Hey.
so so well, I used to be at Chief, but I also knew everybody there. You know, like I drink with those guys um all the or not all the time, but a lot of the time. So I wonder where the settings for that is. So uh I used to get pretty wild and crazy there, and then um everybody, obviously the last few places they do them differently, and they haven't been doing parties like this, but you know, like last year we were supposed to go down to Dallas, but they didn't tell us until like the week of, and it's like, do you know how much tickets are for us to just up and go down there?
Yeah, the week
And
before. Oh, and then plan.
yeah, they didn't do anything like that for us, and so they just told us they just expected us to come down like the week of, and um we so we didn't go. Well, then the other thing was since we split from the original company, we had different emails, and they did what they did kind of the owner did kind of an office party that was separate from the normal party, and it was a different night, and
Yeah.
the previous years we always got invited to that. Well, he didn't realize he tried to invite us to it, and he couldn't figure out why none of us RSVP'd like we're supposed to, and he figured it out like that weekend, like just a few days before that party was supposed to happen. But the night that it was supposed to happen, it was like -40 out, and we were already told not to come into work because if we got stuck on the road, you know, driving all that way, our boss told us not to come in, you know, just work from home because we could.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, I'm not driving to Kearney to go to a party if it's that cold.
Yeah.
So last year we didn't even get to go to any of them. So it's like it's kind of nice this year to actually
Yeah. Have some.
have something. Yeah.
Okay.
Where do I? Is it um? Is it the task manager that I go to that does the startup apps?
Yeah. But actually, um, it should be the same in 11. But actually, well, you might be able to disable it in there. But really, just go down to the search bar. Hang on. It'll be in a control panel. Yeah, actually, if you just go down the search bar, do it this way. Just search startup, and then you'll see everything that
Startup apps. There we go.
that
All right.
starts up, and then turn, if it is on, like turn it off, and then that might help you. Oh, I know. Look and make
Oh,
sure it's on. Realtek Audio Manager. If that's in your list, make sure that is
so
on. It should be, but
so I speaking of that, I'm looking at startup apps. Realtek HD Audio Universal Services is on my startup.
that is it set to on?
Yep.
Okay, well, then that's maybe not it, but
It, oh, well, I was wondering if maybe that was part of the problem.
uh well, I mean, I guess you could try turning it off, and then you could try a restart and see what see what does or doesn't do things. But usually you'd want that probably on. I guess it's worth a shot.
Um, okay, and then I'm not seeing Discord.
Okay, well, maybe it doesn't. Well,
I
uh,
thought it did because actually I know it does because
well,
it tries to
it
every.
should be in there, but I guess go to the task manager and there is a startup tab, and you can should be yeah, you can enable or disable, but how you got to do it in there is you have to right click. But it should be the same apps in there too. Actually, I'm like good.
Yeah, no, it doesn't give me any. I'm on it. It doesn't give me any.
Too. Actually,
Um, unless it's in a different window. Startup apps. Oh, here we go.
yeah. I don't know. The